Coming up, we'll tell you what you need to know about a bus fire that caused a road to be closed in western KELOLAND.
Plus, we introduce you to a Watertown man lending his community a hand through water. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We're learning about a deadly head-on collision in Montana that killed 3 people from Hartford, South Dakota. The crash happened Saturday evening on Interstate 90 near Whitehall, Montana. Authorities say a 45-year-old man from Spokane, Washington is suspected of being under the influence and traveling the wrong way on I-90 when he crashed into a vehicle with 2 adults and 3 children from Hartford.
The driver of the first car, along with a 37-year-old woman, a 32-year-old man, and a 14-year-old girl in the other vehicle, were killed. An 8-year-old girl and 2-year-old boy were taken to the hospital. Their condition is currently unknown. The Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office is investigating a Saturday morning crash just outside of Renner. Just before 9 a.m., witnesses say a pickup and car were heading east on 258th Street at high rates of speed. Both drivers then lost control of their vehicle while going through the intersection with Highway 115.
The pickup crashed into the ditch and rolled several times. The driver was taken to a local hospital with serious, non-life-threatening injuries. No one else was hurt. A road in western KELOLAND is closed following a bus fire. Battle Creek Fire and Rockerville Volunteer Fire Departments were called to the scene. Rockerville Volunteer Fire Department posted these pictures of the fire on its Facebook page. In some of the pictures, you can see the bus received heavy damage. The Pennington County Sheriff's Office says Keystone Way was closed for an hour due to the fire. Turning to weather now, temperatures are starting the work week a little cooler compared to last week. Let's send it over to meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center to get a check of our current conditions. Good morning, Brian.
Yes, good morning. I think that's a fair statement. No more 100s for a while. We're replacing that with 70s and 80s for parts of Minnesota today. But we also have the smoke in the air. That story still remains. Now, the smoke at the surface is not as thick as it once was, but it still has to be acknowledged as a factor in the weather today. Let's bring up the smoke forecast. So the spots there in the yellow and the beige color, those would be areas where it's a little thicker, but it's still not nearly as bad as it was a few days ago, Friday and even Saturday. So I think we're turning the page on some of this. And hopefully here, as we increase southerly winds through the week, well, yeah, it's going to get hotter, but it's not likely to be as smoky. So there are a couple of trade-offs. Forecast today, high temperatures, Sioux Falls area closer to 80 this afternoon. We'll explore the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. The chance of being evicted from home is a big worry for many Americans now that the CDC's eviction moratorium has ended. And for people experiencing financial hardship during the pandemic who qualified for moratorium and now have back rent to pay, they could be immediately evicted.
In South Dakota, Brent Thompson, executive director for East River Legal Services, says 18.8% of the population has that worry of eviction on their mind.
Our office has seen our housing cases increase about 50% from May to through July. So it's a pretty significant increase. Unfortunately, when they reach our office, it's already reached that point where it's most likely a legal matter.
Thompson says before the situation reaches a lawyer's office, tenants should try to get assistance through the state of South Dakota. A man in Watertown is using water to lend a hand to his community.
Earl Baumgarn turned 71 last month. His granddaughter made him this sign on which his neighbors can write a greeting. A lot of people chose to write thank you because of this water cooler he stocks. The project launched because of dehydration he experienced last August. He had been working outside all day and forgot to drink water. It landed him in the hospital overnight to receive fluids.
I did it all to myself, and as I'm recuperating the next few days, I'm sitting out here looking at the people going by on the jogging trail, and not many of them had water. And I thought, I don't want it to happen to them what happened to me. So I put out the cooler.
If you're on the Watertown bike path, you'll typically find Earl out every day from 6 to noon waving from his driveway. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Carstens. Good morning, Brian.
Yes, good morning. Yep, staying hydrated with that water, even on days where it's a little cooler. Still got to think about that. And I think that as we go through time, we are going to crank these temperatures back up here as we get toward your 7-day forecast in a moment. First things first, other than some haze in the air, I think overall dry weather for the next couple of days. The first chance of rain we're going to bring into the forecast is Rapid City Wednesday. Some of this showing up on FUTURECAST. And there could be some more scattered hits of this into Thursday morning. Again, the pattern is not necessarily good for widespread rain, but when we say this, it's again enough to grab your attention because I think we'll have some scattered showers and even a couple of thunderstorms around here as we look toward Thursday. So that's the next thing to watch. And then after that, that's kind of opening the door to some hotter weather, which is going to nudge in here from, you guessed it, the Northwest. Again, Washington State and the Pacific Northwest making a lot of headlines this year with the hot weather. And so here comes crossing the Rockies by the weekend. We think by Saturday, we could be looking at 95, maybe 96, 97, even to Sioux Falls. We might have to entertain that idea of getting to those levels again. And, next week, the heat tends to shift a little bit east of us. We're still in the thick of it, though, probably through at least Sunday, maybe Monday. So kind of enjoy the nice short-term cool down, and then we'll see if we can cycle back to some cooler weather. But it inevitably, month of August, you're going to have to deal with some of that, especially in a drought year, which obviously we're dealing with. 85 today, Mitchell, 86 degrees in Huron. Your 7-day forecast. So we're into the 80s through Thursday, and then at that point we'll break into the 90s, and hoping to not go too much higher than 93, but we'll have to keep that in mind. We may end up raising some of those long-range numbers. Aberdeen, we've gone as high as 95 on Saturday, just because the ground is drier in Aberdeen. For now, we're going to keep the rain chance pretty low. There's a chance this weekend we could see some of that, but the drought taking its toll, and it's obvious too for Pierre. Hotter weather Thursday, Friday into the weekend. Middle and upper 90s are going to be very common. And it is, of course, drier heat in the west. And Rapid City, too, is going to see that shot at rain on Wednesday, but then it's 90-degree weather for several days. Find out more details with our Storm Center update posted at KELOLAND.com. And have a good Monday.